Hello guys, and you're welcome. My name is Mahmoud Shoaib, and in this section we're going to be looking at understanding some basic terminologies you're going to come across the world of data science. So in this section we're going to find out what data science is, what data analysis is, what machine learning means, what artificial learning intelligence means, and also what deep learning means. So let's just go ahead and quickly begin with our slides. Now, if some definitions of data science change based on the year, right? So just think about in the 40s, in the 80s, like how would they actually look at data science, or how would they analyze data in that time? So early in the years, like if we look at the space shuttle program that was run in the 60s, you realize they used computers, but not as we used computers right now. So data science definition and the concept changed based on the way technology improved, based on Murphy's law, like how computers became more powerful. So a definition for data science would depend on which year, and also in the nearby future, let's say 100 or 200 years from now, most especially artificial intelligence would have improved, and the definition and the roles of data science would also change. So the definition of what data science is will basically be closely related to what time space you are. So and basically it's based on traditional and analytical modern techniques. So definitely it's based on how computers are going to be smart, and this will determine what the definitions are. And also most things are simple, but once you begin to multiply simplicity, it becomes complex, right? So if you look at data science, and if someone asks you what data science is, your response should come from understanding that we have multiple different interrelated disciplines that are interconnected to actually give you what data science is. And some of these disciplines are mostly analytically driven, things such as statistics, mathematics, some kind of basic social science. Most of these skills require some form of analytical skill. So that's why I listed them out here. We have things like statistics, programming, some basic accounting for businesses, and there are also a lot of other fields that can be integrated to actually combine together and be termed as data science. Right, so here is a simple definition, and it says data science is a structured combination of machine learning, business intelligence, and computer programming to extract knowledge and insights on data. We'll be going into understanding what these definitions mean for data analysis and what machine learning is. Now, the method of analysis is to break down a task that is large into smaller and manageable chunks to extract results. So that is what analysis is. But this time around, when you carry out analysis on data, it's basically a process of collecting, transforming, and then you clean up and model data with the aim of answering a specific question. For instance, if you're in a company and they're trying to tell you how can we improve our sales, or what times do our customers usually come online, that is actually a specific question, and you can use data analysis techniques to actually answer that question. So that's what data analysis is. Business intelligence, on the other hand, it's basically using a set of specific techniques for companies in an environment where they're set to get profit, and then use those strategies with techniques to analyze business data. So and mostly it's used for informed decision making in companies. So companies, they're usually talking about profit, they talk about sales, they talk about manufacturing, costs and loss, profit. Basically that's business intelligence. It's analysis, but more focused on businesses. Visualization, on the other hand, is an old and traditional technique that is also changed based on the current trends in technology, and is used to represent information that might be too complex to view in a much more simplified form, because people love charts, people love to see graphs, people love to see bar charts, pie charts, and just to see information you can interact with. And these days, the graphs are now becoming, intelligent. Like you could have charts that are interactive. You put your mouse over a chart and you see that chart kind of like moving and zooming in to give you live data and information. Now, back in 1990, you didn't have much information about interactive charts. So the technology changes, and then it brings in a little bit more complexity and shows you how these tools are. And now we jump into what machine learning is. So the term machine learning is a study of statistical models and algorithms, and is basically used by computer systems to perform tasks without the need to be told to do so. For instance, I might have an Excel sheet with my columns, my traditional data in a row and table column like format, and I'll tell it like, you know what, I want to plot the X column by the Y column. So when I do that, that's actually a traditional method of doing it. It's super fine. So what if I taught the computer using some algorithms to, like, you know, look into data and then beginning to, you know, extract information from that data? So that's what machine learning is. Now, there is a slight confusion between machine learning and, you know, artificial intelligence. And basically, AI, or artificial intelligence, is used to define, you know, computer systems or machines that tend to imitate the way the human mind works, like cognitive in the way you solve problems and in the way you learn. So for instance, you know, as a baby, you crawl, you touch things. Sometimes you touch hot things and you get burnt. So automatically you put it at the back of your mind that, look, hot things, red hot things mean hurt, so you don't actually want to go to those red hot things. So in a way, when you write, you know, code, and you try to tend your code towards, you know, thinking and reasoning logically, that's what artificial intelligence is. So machine learning is one pathway for, you know, achieving that artificial intelligence. And the goal of artificial intelligence is just to mimic the human, you know, cognitive functions. And machine learning is currently one path to actually, you know, achieving that. Now, there's also deep learning, or structured learning, or hierarchical learning, and basically it's a much more advanced family of machine learning that are based on the neural network. Now, the neural network also tends to simulate the cognitiveness of the human mind. So basically, that's what deep learning is. It's much more structured. You know, it's a bit of a complicated set, you know, that usually required some skill set to jump into, but all in all, it's all the same. It's trying to, like, achieve the neural network, basically how, you know, the brain or the mind functions. So that's what deep learning it's all about. And some places where deep learning is used for natural language processing, and also audio and signal processing. So hopefully we'll be using and going into much more examples during the course. I just decided to keep this extremely simple and then present you a chart where you can actually look at that information and try to just have a basic understanding of some of these terms. So in our course in data science, we won't be looking at deep learning, and we'll be looking at deep or advanced machine learning, but we'll actually be looking into some of those tools and seeing how we can apply them. So hopefully by the end of this small and short presentation, you have an understanding of what data science is, what machine learning is, what artificial learning is, and you'll be able to look at those terms and then try to filter out and understand that each time you have a task, or you aim at identifying, you know, what data science is or what machine learning is, it will actually solely depend on what time zone you are, and also the level of specification and complexity. It also based on the amount of experience you have as a data scientist, and also depends on where you work. So your roles as a data scientist will always change based on what kind of company you work with, you know, what kind of traditional data you've worked with, and also what current technologies you work with, and what roles you have been applied to or assigned to in a company. Sometimes some companies allow you to just clean up data, and then you're a data scientist by cleaning up, restructuring data, and presenting data in a format that can be analyzed. Sometimes in some companies, you're a business analyst. You analyze information about the company and direct a company towards making structured decision making based on analytical tools. Sometimes you could actually be a data scientist who is primarily focused on specialization on just graphical visualization. So you actually be a perfectionist and an expert on graphical visualization tools, so that you can display, you know, current and modern, you know, intelligent graphs that are smart to a company. So basically, with these terms, hopefully you're not confused, and I'll see you in the next lesson.